Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Get Rich 101. I'm your host, I'm Sekou Wrights, and I am an author. You can see that right here. I'm an author of Hack Your Pain Now. It's not my only book, but it's the book that I feel most strongly about. So please pick it up. Hack Your Pain Now. Hack Your Pain Now. Now, I'm supposed to be doing this with my dad. You saw me throw this up a little while ago. I'm supposed to be doing this with my dad. It's saying device is not connected. So I don't know, Dad. I just sent you a text message, and let's see if you responded. No response yet. So it is what it is. It is what it is. Hopefully that device will be connected. Let me just put this live anyway. I can't even put it live. All right. So I hope it works out. Anyway, thanks to New Thought Media Network for giving me the grace and opportunity to grow. Thank you. And thanks for being here. So, what do I want to talk about today? Well, I was going to talk with Dad, but what I want to talk about was, I don't know if I should say. I think I'm gonna say. So, those of you that know, I just spent a lot of time in Nashville, and I had a great time with Mom and got caught up on a lot of things. But one of the things that would tickle me the most is that we were talking about what to do with our money, right? Like that's too broad, but we were talking about what our financial advisor is doing with our money, right? And it was just so fun. Oh, hey, here's that.
Device is connected.
There we go. So let me put up the screen of the Zap. There's the Zap. And there we go. So I was telling people that I just spent some time in Nashville, and I was talking to Mom, and I was just so tickled by the fact that we were talking about what our financial advisor was doing with our money. And I was so tickled me. I was like, wow, that's an interesting thing to happen. And I was leading into what was happening with you.
Okay.
And the fact that you too have signed up with the financial advisor.
Right.
Yeah.
As of yesterday.
Yes. And I am so tickled by this because I have to say that were it not for the stroke, I would not have pursued money as much as I have. I would not have pursued it. And because I pursued it, I found all these different avenues, all these different things. And it's because of the stroke. Now, there's been some things about the stroke that have been challenging, I admit. But I would not change the fact that I've done more about money. I've sought more about money. And this is one of the things that I was able to get everybody in the family up on the financial advisor thus far, right? And I was a little nervous because Mama Janet was on the call yesterday. And I was a little nervous because she's familiar with this, and I was like, I don't know if this is gonna work. But she thought you should raise your amount, and then you should, and then she might get in on it. I was like, wow, this is really great. It's really great. Yeah.
It's a family affair.
Yeah, it's a family affair, and it's so great that it's coming from reverse. It's coming from me up to you guys instead of you guys down to me. Like I found this, and I found it, and I thought, and so let me just tell you this. I don't know if I told you this yet, Bob, but
okay.
But I was passing this place every day, the Charles Schwab place every day,
Right.
and I was just like, I was looking at it like, this is a bank. A bank or something, right? And hey, Mama Janet. Hey, Mama Janet. Yeah, so I was passing it every day, and I would just kept looking. I would just go up to the window, look. I wonder what they do in there. I wonder what they do in there. And I kept wondering, and I was tickled with curiosity, but I never really took the eagerness to go. And so one day I just went in. One day I just psyched myself up now. I just psyched myself. I did. I just psyched myself up. I went in, and the sister at the front desk, she was a sister. So I thought, all right, I'm good. But she was not good. She was not good. She was like, I was like, oh. So that was it. So that was my plan, to do nothing. I was going to go back to doing nothing with the Charles Schwab thing. But what happened is, after I left there and I decided I was done with it, I got a call from her branch, and this guy called and was like, "Hey man, I heard you came in and had some questions. Why don't you come back in?" And I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know. He sounded so enthusiastic, and you guys have met him. That's the guy, Chris Bygrave. You met him.
Yeah. Very nice guy.
Full of energy. So I went in to talk to him, and my first thing, just like you, Mama Janet, was, "Where's the fee? Where's the fee? What is the fee?" And he kept on saying, "No, nothing." I said, "Come on, man, it's got to be a fee." He said, "Nope, no fee." And I was like, "Wow." That really tickled me to no end. And so the fact that I was able to get him involved, get him doing things for me, and now for Fee, and for Mom, and for Dad, and for you, Bro Janet, for everybody, it's been. I'm feeling hopeful. I'm feeling hopeful at the idea that I have shifted my mindset about money just since the stroke. I've shifted my mindset.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. Now, that was a long-winded talk. I gotta rest for a minute. So tell me about your impressions of Chris Bygrave. Why don't you guys tell me that?
I think he's intelligent, intellectual, and knows his business. And he does more than talk. I mean, he puts the graphics on the scene that you can kind of get a picture of what he's talking about and understanding it. So yeah. I think he's great, and he's your discovery.
Yes, my discovery. What did you think, Mom Janet?
I thought he was really, really patient. I thought he explained things well. I thought he had a lot of good answers, and I was impressed.
So I told Dad earlier, I was worried about you because I know you've been in this boat before, and I was like, oh, I hope she lets him buy. I hope she lets him buy. But the fact that you asked Dad to put in more money, that you even might have a little bit that you want to give, made me feel great. I was like, okay, finally, I passed the Mama Janet test.
Amen.
Amen. So yeah, so we're going as the case goes. We're moving and grooving.
But let me do a little teacher moment. Maybe more historic. I mentioned it a little bit yesterday. My mother, who has passed, and a wonderful person, your grandmother, one of your grandmothers. At one point, I'm out of school working in Boston, and she's in Savannah, and she has to keep in touch. So she calls, and I'm not there. The answering service, picks up messages usually. The next time I talk to her, she says, "How come you didn't return my call?" I said, "Hey, when did you call?" She said, "Blah, blah, blah." I said, "Did you leave a message?" She said, "No, I'm not talking to no machine." I said, "Well, how would I know you called if I'm not there and you don't leave a message?" She said, "Well, you got to figure that out."
Wow.
So go from there to what we did yesterday. You in New York, we're in Florida,
Yes.
and Chris is
Yes.
in New York.
Yes.
We're together electronically,
Yep.
and we did business
Yes.
yesterday,
Yes.
and we
Yes.
could see each other.
And he showed me the visuals. All the visuals they showed were great.
Yeah.
That was really great. Yeah.
So things have changed. Life is moving faster.
Life is moving faster. Life's moving faster. Ashe. Well, anything you want to add about Janet?
No, I just, I like the idea of working with a professional. I like the idea that he went through a series of questions to see what your risk level was, to see, what you wanted to accomplish with your money. He made some suggestions. You could always, alter those suggestions. I thought it was really a good meeting. And, I like the way he did business. What I also liked is that he's going to keep in touch. It's not just deposit your money and I'll see you, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah.
He called me. Like he called me again. I was like, is something wrong? Is something wrong? Hello? Said, hey man, I'm just checking in. I was like, wow. Zero money for him, and he just does this automatically. I was like, wow, this is
well,
great.
they get paid, as the commercial says, when you do well, they do well. So he's a fiduciary, and so there is, something in it for them, but it's not the fees. There is a way that they're paid on that, and it's probably on the back end.
Yeah, they get paid on the back end from what do you say? That from the Charles Schwab gets paid
probably
him
from the investment, from the investments that you make.
Yes. Well, no, not from the investments, but from the fact that he's paid from Charles Schwab. He gets paid the $3 trillion off of them, so he doesn't need any money. So that was really surprising too. Yeah.
It's a good hookup.
Yeah, it's good hookup. Oh, so Felicia is saying good morning, Papa G, and she probably doesn't see you in the back there, but she'll see you soon. So anyway, after we said all
good morning.
We said all that.
Okay.
Something else happened in Nashville that surprised me, because what happened with me in terms of the stroke happened so fast. It happened so fast that I haven't had a chance to ask people about what happened to me from their perspective in the beginning. And she told me that this was her first time telling me this.
Okay.
This was her first time telling me this. And she was talking about the playwright calling and them having to get me, and my phone being left. Like so many things happened that were really inconceivable to me. So I just wanted to ask you guys what happened. What happened in those first initial period of time? Like what happened for you guys when I had the stroke?
Well, it was scary, and really it was the space, the distance between each other really made a difference there, because it was lack of communication to some degree, and even with the communication, it was unclear what was going on. I was fortunate enough to talk to the primary physician, and he assured me that you would get out of this 100%. So in the background, I felt okay, even though I wasn't hearing and getting a lot of information from you or Mama Jane. It was really just a vacuum, because like in New York, things move either very fast or very slow. and Boston to Nashville during that time period was very slow in terms of communications.
There was a lot going on in terms of people calling each other. You know, I think we heard from Harriet before we heard from anybody else. And, you know, when we found out what happened and we're calling and, you know, we're talking to doctors, etc., we realized that you couldn't communicate and you were still trying to take phone calls. So you probably don't remember it, but somebody took your phone because you were sending out messages that were gibberish.
What?
Oh yeah. And so one of your friends took the phone and
at my request.
Yeah, so that you couldn't send out incoherent messages. And then there was the whole thing about you being self-employed and not having insurance, which was causing all kinds of major difficulties. And and at that point they were trying to put together a GoFundMe. And we had to all get on the same page in terms of how much communication got shared and how much information got shared, because we knew that you were a very private person, but at the same time we were trying to raise money for medical bills and to pay some of your expenses. So it was a hair-raising time.
Yeah, I've heard this so much about me being a private person, and I got to tell you that whatever part of me that there was evaporated in the stroke because of the memory loss. The memory loss, like, I mean, I had to rebirth myself anew, and that's gone because I hear from all the people like, you said that, what you told me. I get that a lot now, and then I want to hit this hard. Not having benefits was critical because I did not have benefits. And I kept thinking, I'll do it soon, I'll do it whenever. But not having benefits was critical. And I'll tell you this, that there was the distance between Fisk and the first hospital was a little bit over a mile. And they charged me $1,000 for that ride, and that was the shortest hospital. What's that thing?
Transport.
Yeah, what's that thing?
It was an ambulance ride.
Ambulance. The shortest ambulance ride that I had ever experienced in this period, and so like that alone lets you know how much things are and how much things are, and so thankfully I've been able to get a benefits company now, and we've been able to undo some things. But yeah, that was really scary. I mean, I wasn't scared then, but in retrospect, thinking about having to face everything without benefits was pretty serious. It was pretty serious.
One of the things your listeners, at that time, that's when they had made healthcare optional. Before that, you had to be into some kind of a plan with the Affordable Care Act. And when Trump changed that, people could do things and it was optional. And you decided to go for the option where you didn't have coverage. I would not recommend that to anyone. I think if you're self-employed, if there's some way that you can get coverage, that people need to get coverage, even if there's a price on it, and even if it's minimal coverage, because to have something catastrophic happen to you like that, it is very, very, very expensive.
Yeah.
And the type of care you get depends on the type of insurance you get.
And the location. I mean, because you're in Nashville and Mama Janet is there and it's her home, she had connections of people that you would not necessarily have gotten.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I hadn't even thought about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, we need a national healthcare system. We're one of the few developed countries that does not have one.
So tell me more about that. What do you mean?
Well, with Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act, that was an attempt to cover everybody in terms of health. And that became optional. If you live in Europe, if you live in Canada, if you live in many, many developed countries, you get automatic care. You get covered with health care. Your doctors are covered. And, you can go to the hospital. That's not necessarily true in the United States.
Mm.
People go broke if they have some kind of a terminal illness. If you have cancer, you can lose your home by the time you get finished trying to pay the doctor bills.
Wow. Yeah, I can easily see that.
Hmm.
And I'm grateful that I was able to be whatever books and bylaws I was able to get through. I was able to get through it and get to a doctor that you could talk to, Dad, that could give you some assurances. Because I found out later from a doctor here in New York that the stroke that I had was lethal. I was like, we were talking about something, and he kept talking about it, and I was like, wait a minute, did you say lethal? He said, yes, lethal. I'm surprised you're standing. And I was like, what? And I was like, wow, that scared me. That scared me a lot. And it's just that I did not know that I had a stroke until much later in the process. I remember exactly. I was in getting physical therapy, and the woman was going down a list, name, date, just going down a list, and then she got to reason for being there, and she said stroke, and I was like, what? And she said stroke, and I was like, hold on, and there was this very awkward silence where she was like, I don't know what to say, and all the people around were quiet, and I was really shocked at the fact that I'd had a stroke, and I just pushed on through that day and kept doing the things, but I just really it was really shocking to me that I had a stroke at all.
Well, that was probably parlayed by your privacy. I mean, some people, including the physicians and other healthcare workers, were trying to get you to do one thing, and you were determined to do others. To some degree, that was good. I mean, because you wouldn't requiesce to some of the aids they wanted you to participate with and on. But then there are others where you just wouldn't speak, or you wouldn't talk to people. So it becomes a guessing game. All of that to say that we're not experts on this game of life. And there are situations that we have not faced before. Some we face better than others. But we have to keep learning and keep functioning and communicating.
Right. Yeah, I can only speak to the articulation. Like my articulation was terrible. Like even worse than it is now. Like I could not talk, and it was so frustrating for me. It was so frustrating that I would say things, and everybody would just look at me and then would look away. And I'm like, no one's going to listen to what I said, and people couldn't understand me, and that was scary for a good little while. That was scary. Yeah.
Yeah, but all of this is about recovery,
Yeah.
The good thing is you have recovered, and you're reaching out to other people who have had similar experiences or may have similar experiences, not necessarily have had.
Yes. Yes. And I'm encouraging people to get after their money, to really chase it down, because what you think you know, you don't know. You don't know. You don't know. You got to study. and I've been it's been helpful to me that I've involved myself in that goal because of being able to pay all these bills from medical care, but really to have this goal of focusing on money has helped me just thus far. Just this tiny little bit thus far has helped me so much more than it would have usually. Like I would have just been like, just chilling. But now I'm studying money, and I think that's a big help.
And that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because while we have a lot of things in this country, we can realize that some things in this healthcare business is a major thing we don't have. I mean, we are better off because of President Obama and his program, but it's not total. And for whatever the reason is, I don't understand. The politicians don't seem to understand it. But you got to understand that they have the best health care in the world. The U.S. politicians,
right,
for free we pay and we pick up that tab.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's good enough to end on. That's a good enough to end on. Yeah. Well, thanks, Bob, for being here and for trusting me enough to check out Chris Bygrave. And I'm glad that he's doing something good for you and soon for Mama Janet.
You are welcome, and thank you for the introduction.
All right, I'll accept that. I'll accept that.
I wouldn't have known Chris. I see Bob commercials, but I mean, I don't say, hey, that's kind of different. But I didn't do anything more than that.
And now we will. Now we're like, what else can we do with our money? What else can we do with our money? Yeah, I share.
All right, man. Have a good weekend.
All right, folks. And remember that.
Hey, listen, whoa, where we go? I understand that you may be running Boston Marathon.
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe, because I just discovered that. So for those of you that don't know, I ran the last 2 marathons. Now that first one was 4 months after my stroke. That was hard. That was very difficult. And then I ran the New York Marathon again a second time, right? After which I got engaged the day after the second marathon. And now I got lost I lost track of time, and I reached out to New York Marathon, and they're gone. I mean, they are sold out. But I was thinking, I ran into a friend of mine at the New York Marathon, at the second marathon. And she was like, yeah, I got a Guinness World Record. And I was like, a Guinness World Record? I'm trying to get one for raising money. She said, no, I won one for running different marathons. I said, what? And she's like, I ran a circle of marathons and I got a Guinness World Record for that. And I was like, and I'm not gonna lie, I was very put off at first. I was like, but now I'm thinking, I think I'm gonna do it. I think I'm gonna do it. So I need to check out. Boston is the next one that has its own availability. So I have to see what my availability is. But yeah, so anyway, I could do these. I think I can't remember how many it is, but I gotta assume to select the marathons and sign up for all of them, and then go do all of them, and I get my Guinness World Records. So that's the plan. That's the plan.
Amen.
Yeah.
That's
so there we go. There we go. So I will see you guys later. And remember that,
have a good day.
Now is better than perfect. Now is better than perfect. All right. I'll see you guys later.
Okay. Ciao.